Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Deckinaround Kickstarter Edition. Today we are going to be taking a look at decks that have funded in the past 7 days, decks that are going to be wrapping up their funding in the next coming week, and then any decks that are new to Kickstarter this week. So before we get into it, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
Don't forget to ring the bell.
There you go, you want those notifications. So let's take a look. For the decks that have funded in the past 7 days, congrats to the Passport-inspired collector's cards. Congratulations to Florentia playing cards.
Passion.
Yep. Congratulations to Incantation playing cards with our boy Mike there.
Mike, way to crush it, bro.
Yep. Congratulations to Zodiac Portents playing cards by 808 Magic Card Company.
Only 39 more decks to come.
And congratulations to Tiki playing cards.
Tiki, huh?
Congratulations to Omen playing cards, Revolution Edition. And because it will be funded by the time this goes up, congratulations to Like Lightning.
You like Lightning?
And for the decks that are going to be wrapping up this week, take a look at the King of Tigers deck, the Grandmaster XCM edition, the Ito Karuta playing cards, and the Alchemy playing cards.
Dude, 39 grand that deck. Holy cow.
And the Leaves playing cards. Yeah, dude, some of these decks have really done a good job raising their funding and getting out the word. A lot of it, I mean, we've said this in the past, a lot of it's just that social media drive. If you know what you're doing there, you get a lot of funders looking at your project, a lot of backers, so.
39 grand, that's a lot of kick. All right, let's do it.
All right,
let's do it.
Let's take a look. First deck we'll be running through today is the Natives playing cards. Actually,
7,500 gold.
Yeah, not too bad. Because considering it looks like there might be some embossing on the tuck, that's not too bad of a goal. A little bit on the higher end, but nothing.
It's actually it's a good price.
Yeah, it's not bad looking. What are we looking at?
It's actually
$15 per deck, also reasonable. Interesting chords. I like the chords. Yeah.
Yeah, they're cool.
It's got a really clean look to it. I like the embossed suits on the bottom there, which actually you can't really see in the main picture, but if you take a look down there, like that's really nice looking. Got a little story on the back as well.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I have to say I like this deck. I think it's a good looking deck at $15 a deck. That's a pretty reasonable price. I'm curious to see who the printer would be on this.
Go up. One more. Did it say on the right here?
No.
What did it say? Edges, smooth finish. Okay. The cards.
The nice back. I actually really like the back on this too. I think it's very colorful. It'd be interesting to see that in a fan.
Yeah. Well, it's cool how they put up the inspirations of where they got everything from.
Yeah. No, this is definitely a good-looking deck and an interesting add-on that we don't usually see for card-related campaigns at T-shirts. So hit the uncut sheets there. There we go. USPCC and Gambler's Warehouse. I have to say, like, this is a good-looking deck. I like the price point for this. The one thing that I'm surprised about is I haven't heard more about it yet. So social media side of things definitely should amp that up. But it looks like it's going all right so far for where it's at. Yeah, definitely not a bad looking deck. Nice. This is definitely this one kind of came out of left field. I haven't seen this yet, so yeah.
Did it say how many they're printing? Because it says limited edition on it, so I'm just curious to see how much they're printing. The Nigeria, go up. The first several custom playing cards that shine light on African culture. Doesn't really say.
Yeah, let me just take a quick scroll through and see if I can pull out a number. But I don't. I mean, I would guess being USPCC and a first run Kickstarter campaign, they're probably looking at 1,500. Seems to be the standard. Their price point kind of also suggests that's where they're at, but doesn't look like there's a definitive number on that. So limited run, but not indicated.
Yeah.
Like I said, though, definitely a good looking deck. I would be willing to take a closer look at that one. I think this one has been getting a lot
That
of social media visibility. Obviously, the being a riffle shuffle deck. Eternal Rain.
beautiful.
Yeah, no, I mean the tuck on this is
For
spectacular.
$5,000 goal, like the riffle, you can't beat riffle shuffle.
Well,
Like I just
and you and I talked about this one the other day. This one's coming out of TWPCC, which makes it a little bit more reasonable cost, cost wise. Limited to 2,000
yeah,
decks each.
2,000 decks
Yeah,
each.
so to some extent too, you wonder from a big production house like Riffle Shuffle if they're willing to eat a little bit more on the front end, knowing that on the back end they'll make it back up. It's not like this deck isn't going to
Yeah.
sell out.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they already crushed their goal,
Yeah,
so
yeah. With a $5,000 goal at 17,000, this just popped off. I think yesterday or maybe the day before. So this is fresh to Kickstarter and it's already doing phenomenal. But again, like we'd expect nothing else from Kevin Yu and
and
Riffle
they
Shuffle.
have they haven't even added their gildeds in yet. They haven't added who else knows what else is coming out of them. I definitely think that. Um, I mean, they've got 17 grand into it already, and it probably cost them $5 a deck. So they're printing 2,000.
Yeah, looks like they're going to be all numbered as well,
Yeah,
which is cool.
it's a beautiful
It
tuck.
really is.
Beautiful.
I like the card backs a lot. The one thing I wish they had a little bit there of would be either some sort of metallic or foil, just because I think it would complement the tuck so much more. But again, like not something we usually expect from Riffle Shuffle. Um, yeah, I think the colors they picked for this are spectacular.
Beautiful. Yeah, I agree. I'm just sick of seeing like skulls
Yeah, I know you're
everywhere.
not a fan of skull decks. It happens.
I feel like there's so many skull decks coming out recently.
I mean, it fits the theme though. I think a lot of these, like, you're not seeing skulls just for skulls, like Eternal Kingdom, like the idea of death there, like obviously fits the
Yeah,
theme.
for sure.
Um, I like the worn looking pips and indexes there. Really nice
Yeah, it's
aces.
beautiful. I love the big ace. That ace is dope.
Yeah,
I love that. It's kind of like the trident from the Riffle Shuffle deck trident.
yeah. They did a really good job with this, and I like the jokers, like interesting jokers. Yeah, 200 of each of the
Beautiful.
limited gilded editions. So there's going to be 400 total, 200 of each color, 4,000 total of the standards, 2,000 of each color. I feel like some hesitation may come out of this just because it's TWPCC. But that being said, like I was playing around with that cardistry and calligraphy deck not too long ago. Now is TWPCC as well. That deck is handles
Yeah.
spectacularly. So
No, I don't think anybody cares. It already has
yeah,
17K in it.
I
So
mean, like I said, that would be the only thing that to me that would be like, oh, a slow down point for someone. But these are beautiful cards, and I think this is really appealing more
yeah.
to a collector's market with all of the intricacy. So they could care less if they're willing to buy from LPCC or NPCC. Taiwan Playing Card Company is a step above. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, this is a phenomenal deck.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's beautiful. How much is it? Their price point's probably
Yeah, it's
spot on,
probably
as usual.
yeah. What are we looking at? 14,
13 bucks maybe.
$14.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's really not bad. They do a great job with their decks. So $13 for
Yep,
something with a
very
foiled
smart.
tuck is amazing.
That color, that blue and orange is Jesus.
Yeah, it's a nicely done deck.
So good.
All right, what do we got next? Next, we are looking at the invisible playing cards, and these are actually being printed by MPC, which is interesting. This is actually MPC's campaign, in fact, as well. The premise of this is kind of unique. They're completely transparent.
Here's what I gotta say about this. I think the idea is cool,
Yeah.
but let's be honest. What the fuck is the point of having a deck that's invisible you can't even see?
I mean, especially if you're aiming
What's the
towards a
point?
cardistry kind of like population, like you're going to be moving your hands with cards you can't see, so it's just going to be looking like you move your hands around.
You can't use what can you use this deck
Nothing.
for?
No, it's definitely a gimmick deck. What are they asking for? 5,000. It's already significantly funded, so it's
Yeah,
not an issue. But
crazy. People want to see what it's all about. Like I
yeah,
knew a couple people who funded it, and they're like, I'm just curious,
they're
which is cool. But like,
transparent plastic
what's the point of
cards.
it?
Like, here's the other thing about it though too. Like, this isn't by any means like innovative or or anything like we haven't seen before. Like this is they're clear plastic sheets with pressed in lettering and numbering. Like it's cool. I think it's interesting, but yeah,
I mean, the tuck box is basically a deck sleeve.
yeah,
Yeah. All right. What's next?
Next we have the Apocalisse from Third Way Industries.
$41,000.
Yeah, out of an 18,000 goal. Geo came out of the gate hard with this one again. This was not even a full 30-day campaign. This, I believe, was a 2-week campaign. So 4 days in, he's already more than doubled his goal.
He always does 14 days.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do any more than that. The guy, he funds in 5 minutes every time.
Yeah. The one thing about this deck, I have to say, is the price point's high. But again, Third Way Industry deck, $31. That's about the go from most of these.
The 31 off the bat?
Yeah. It's only a single deck in the series. It's not 3 like he usually does.
What's the great thing about this deck? Is it like anything crazy? Like, is he trying to do anything?
No, nothing like too crazy. Gold metallic ink on the back, cold foil on the... Cold foil is going to replace the metallic ink if they hit the stretch goal. Knowing him, I'm sure they'll hit the stretch goal as long as it's not like $100,000. But,
I assume he already hit the stretch goal. What's the stretch goal?
We have not gotten there yet. Yeah, I don't know what the stretch goal is on this one. Listen,
the one
go ahead.
The one great thing I really dig about what he does is, I mean, there's a couple things that he does that really works. Is the fact that his stories, he creates the stories and he goes on and on and on and on, and he doesn't leave anything out. I highly recommend doing that. He's printing with Katamundi as usual.
Potentially, though. He said he's also evaluating USPCC or EPCC. So that could be interesting. Again, though, being a collector's deck, I don't think anyone necessarily cares. The one thing that I did notice there is if you look at the stretch goals, it is undefined as to what the actual stretch goal is for the cold foil. So that will be determined, I'm guessing, at a later date, as he sees fit. Yeah. I gotta say, out of most of the decks that he's come out with recently, I actually like this one the most. So I like the story behind it. I like the art better. Again, it's got the very reminiscent of Geo courts and everything. Like, it's his style for sure. But for some reason about this one, like it resonates better with me. So
it's more. It looks like more like a human.
Yeah, well, even more so than the Italia Divina that he just came out with, which were very human looking, but like they didn't speak to me. These ones look good. I like that the different courts are different like aspects. So death, war, famine. Like it's basically 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, which is really cool. So yeah, not a bad looking deck. And as per usual with Geo's campaigns, he has the ability to buy, monster boxes and decks. It looks like he already sold out on the one, but I know he had one where he was offering previous decks that he had released. So
yeah, he does that in every campaign.
Yeah, which is nice. It's a discounted way to get some of the stuff compared to his website. So yeah,
$31 is crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, listen, if it hits the cold foil goal and all the card backs are cold foil, like that's a little more reasonable. But yeah, for metallic ink.
The crazy thing is Geo can put $91 on there. People are gonna buy it. So he's super talented. I respect him and his work. That would look great with foil. At $31 a deck, it should be foil.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, and it depends too what the tuck is. All we saw there were renderings. I didn't see much about embossing or foil on the tuck, so it could be that the tuck's obviously a little beyond standard that he would usually have there. Next up, we have the Kill Humans, a card with claw marks, Evil Cats deck. All right.
This one's all you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like not necessarily my style. $6.
Kill Humans.
$6 a deck, though. I'm guessing these are being printed at a $1,200 goal somewhere like
Zazzle.
Probably not Zazzle. It's Hong Kong based, so it could be getting printed with an unknown Chinese printer. It could be MPC even, but yeah, it's cute.
I mean, how much is it? Six
Six
bucks a
bucks a
deck?
deck, yeah, for the early birds.
That's
$7.
still too. That's still cheap for NPC, so it's probably not even getting printed
Yeah,
there.
so who knows where they're getting printed? I don't think the campaign mentioned it. If you like cats, this is cute. It does have custom pips on it, custom courts. It's very like cartoony.
Yeah,
It's not bad looking. I know you,
if you dig
I know you don't
cats
like
for sure.
cats, so I get it. It doesn't look like there's any
Sophia.
indication of where it's getting shipped or printed. Standard looking tuck as well, though. 6, $7 again. If you like cats and this is your kind of thing, like that's kind of a steal for this deck. So
Dude, that's a great price point. That's for
yeah,
sure. $6.
and if they handle even
Can't go
decently at
wrong.
$6, that's not bad for something fully custom. So worth checking out if you're into cats. Next up, we have the Vengeance of Witches.
That
Uh,
tug box is
you
good.
know, I mean, this deck in general is beautiful. It's Nikolai Aero, so
52.
all his stuff is
Man,
yeah, dude.
he crushes it.
Well, and he also releases relatively infrequently, so when he does come out with one, there's a lot of fanfare around it.
Yeah, super
He also
talented
does really
dude.
long campaigns though too, which surprised me. It's a 40-day campaign. Um,
I think that gives him the ability to drop like add-ons and other stuff.
Probably yeah, because he has a lot of add-ons on this deck. Really
Yeah,
upfront about everything with the cards. Limited edition 2500 deluxe tuck boxes with copper and red foil, which is going to be amazing. Completely custom, obviously, pips and courts and everything. And it's being printed with NPC. Again, this is something that is geared towards collectors, so the NPC aspect, clearly based on its funding level right now, has zero impact on it. But this isn't something you're going to pick up and run all day with this isn't a cardist deck or even a magician's deck for that matter.
I mean none of his decks.
Yeah, but it,
They're all NPCC,
I mean,
but
yeah,
beautiful tuck box.
absolutely spectacular. The embossing and the debossing even on it just looks gorgeous.
I
This
hope
is
that the back of that tuck box of the black one
yeah,
isn't too dark where you like literally have to put a light on it and angle it like that to see it. I hope it can really see it just looking at it.
yeah. It'll definitely be interesting to check out. I love his artwork though. He has such a phenomenal like artistic eye, and his ability is he's just an amazing artist.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and I
You
think
can definitely tell it's his work for sure.
then again, $14 a deck for something that's really to the nines, fully done up. Again, embossed and debossing on the tuck, foil on the tuck. It's the works on there for $14. From a collector's point of view, this is a hands down a reasonable deal for what is a beautiful deck. Yeah, I think he and the card backs are really cool. And they're slightly different, which I like too. It's not just like a different tuck and you throw the same deck in there, you know?
Yeah.
But who knows? This could be one of the nicer decks we've seen in a while, all things considered, and all the artwork and everything that went into it. And the one thing too with Nikolai's campaigns is the more decks you buy, obviously, the cheaper he offers the pricing. So there is some benefit to picking up, two of each versus one of each. You save, I think, $1 a deck, something like that. Yeah,
Coins.
man.
A booklet, a pouch.
Yeah, he has a booklet, a pouch for the decks. He also offers, and he
What's
does this
that?
with most of
Oh,
his campaigns. He's offering whatever stock he has on any of his previous campaigns at I think, a reasonable price based on where they were initially. So, what does he have here?
I mean the prices on isolated are crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, I think these are probably less expensive than on isolated. So you're looking at 149 Danish kroners.
Let's see what that is.
Yeah,
149 Danish.
yeah. Or is it Dutch? I
Danish
don't know. Let me
kroner
see.
to US
Yeah,
dollars.
Danish krone. Yeah. So
That's $21 for that deck. What's the deck right there? The 209.
209 the Volto.
That's $30.
All right, so pricier than probably in line then with what you'd see on Isolated Thunderstorm. But again, you can
I
get
think
anything you missed on the
it might be cheap.
yeah, anything you
I think
missed.
here's a little cheaper for sure.
So anything you missed though in previous campaigns that you'd want that he still has in stock, obviously you can pick up here. So the Vittoria book, I like these Infernum and the Infinity decks. I think they're cool. So it's one of the nice touches of his. Yeah, no,
Campaigns.
yeah. I
Yeah,
got distracted by
cool.
the embossing on that the black one. Dude,
I
it's
know,
just
right?
good looking. Like that's a
So
gorgeous
pretty.
looking deck. So I have no doubt this one is going to do. Obviously, it's already significantly surpassed its goal, but it's going to do well. Next
Yeah,
up, we have the Elevation playing cards Night Edition, and this is by Emily Slights 52.
Emily.
Yeah, which
Really cool deck. I
no,
dig
I
it.
dig it too. I think I love the coloring of it. I like the theme in general, like the compass and the like the story she has behind it, kind of um,
Yeah,
surmountable struggles. We'll call it. Trying to overcome surmountable struggles, and she also this is
yeah,
her second campaign. $13 a deck. It's a relatively like standard from a production point of view deck. So custom
yeah,
quartz, custom backs, but a non-embossed tuck or anything like that. No foil or metallic inks. $13 is a spectacular price. Um,
yeah.
and
I
I think they're look at that. And they're printing with Cardamundi. I actually thought they were going to be going with USPCC, but Cardamundi on their B9 finish in the slimline stock. That
Yep.
makes for a phenomenal deck. It's actually the same stock that we just saw on the incantation deck. So comfortable in
Yeah,
hand, already pretty well broken in when you get it. Handles wonderfully, springs nice, soft stock. So that'll be really nice. Two-way back design on it, traditional borders, recolored quartz, which is actually neat. We'll have to take a look at that. They're recolored to a green, I'm assuming, instead of black. So
yeah. They did a good job. I think I dig it. I really like it. Yeah, I think it looks great.
yeah, and they got the people close to her on the courts, which I think is always a nice little touch that she does. I also like the individual jokers, so you kind of have some sort of snap change or some sort of transition there you can do where you're going from a whole compass to a broken compass, which is kind of neat. This is a good looking deck. I think she already passed her funding goal as well. So a
Yeah,
lot of the new decks that have come out this week were actually well thought out, either veteran campaign runners who know what they're doing, but really people who are making sure that they're getting the social media aspect out there. It's reasonably priced. They have good add-ons, and they're hitting their goals without too much of a problem, which is exciting to see. I believe her for
yeah.
her.
Has her first deck even delivered yet?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. That was the timeless one,
Yeah,
right? Actually, you know what? No, it hasn't, because her and I had a discussion about the printing, and I believe she was close to printing when everything happened with USPCC shutting down. So,
yeah,
so that should be out. I'm assuming once things kind of return to normal. But
yeah.
yeah,
I think they reopen on the 15th.
yeah. As long as everything goes smoothly. So, here's her add-ons. I think she has a sticker, an impossible bottle. I feel like there was one more I might have just missed there, but or
Yeah, that
extra
was it.
decks. So yeah, you get the signature sticker you could pick up or the impossible bottle. So relatively standard add-ons. Yeah, good. Listen, I think this is a well done campaign. She definitely knows what she's doing with this. She has a good team behind her with a designer. Uh, and again, $13 a deck is a great deal for a custom deck.
Yeah, no, I think
So
everything was great. I think it's definitely the campaign was run way better than her first campaign. She learned a lot, and I think she nailed it on this one for
yeah,
sure.
and I like the fanning elements that were added to the back as well. The broken border and everything really pops. This is going to be a nice deck. Looking forward to seeing what this looks like in hand.
Yeah,
Cool. Next up, we have the Warrior playing cards by RJ, which I know this is a deck that I've seen Daniel Madison kind of pushing a little bit as well.
yeah, definitely a Madison-ish
Yeah,
deck.
yeah. I mean, listen, I think it's funny because a lot of times you can see that kind of that style there, the mirrored aspect on the back. I like the Luna Moth with the skull. I think it's a good look to it. Um, what's the price point on this? $15 plus shipping. Gets to be a little bit pricey, at least from my point of view, for a relatively standard deck with shipping. It comes up to $25. So
That's a US dollar?
yeah, not ideal, but
$25
yeah,
for one deck? Oh, dang.
yeah. Gets to be a little expensive there. I do like the bordering on the pips. I think it's a nice little touch that you don't see on a lot of decks. It kind of adds a little bit of solidity, like it solidifies the pips a little bit compared to the index, which also doesn't have that bordering, which is cool. Um, it's geared towards Magician, obviously, 4 club duplicate, double backer, so pretty standard looking deck. I actually really like the Ace of Clubs on this
I
too.
like the ace.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's a good looking deck. I think the art is fresh on it. But that's a lot. Yeah, $25 for a deck is a bit pricey. So it's not bad looking. I think the let's take a quick look at the. Yeah, I mean, it's already funded, so obviously there's enough momentum behind this that my opinion on the price isn't stopping it for anybody. So I think that's great. It's a good looking deck. It's just yeah, it's just that shipping's killing it. Honestly, it's five. It's because it's out of Europe, so they're probably.
Who's printing it? Catamundi?
Um, let's see.
Probably Catamundi,
Yeah,
right?
B9 Slimline. So Cardamundi, and it's probably being fulfilled.
Who's fulfilling
Yeah,
it?
let's take a look. I know the creator is out of Europe, so it could be maybe
Go
52
up.
one or
Oh, it's Daniel Snyder's cards. Is
yeah,
that what it is?
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I do not see anything about the fulfillment. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? It could be 52 Wonder. It could be they're fulfilling it themselves. That $10 price point for shipping, though, is just tough for me. So,
Yeah, no, that would definitely put me out of the running for it,
yeah.
for
But
sure.
it is a good looking deck otherwise for a relatively standard with, like, some nice customization to the courts in the back and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have. We want to take a look at this history
I think
boxed
that's
one?
sure.
So I think this is actually a subscription based, yeah, monthly subscription service for historical
The
playing cards.
the back design reminds me of there's a deck, not the filter deck, but there's a deck that has pretty much a similar back design.
This would actually be interesting for like kids. I could see it where again for
Yeah, for
12
sure.
bucks a deck you get a 52 cards with some sort of historical facts on a recurring basis, so 36 bucks for 3 months and they get to learn something from playing with cards. It's not bad done.
Yeah,
It's pretty well done. I think it's an interesting concept.
I dig the back
Yeah, I
design,
think
but it
the
looks like another deck.
yeah, I'm not sure which deck.
If anybody knows the deck
Yeah,
that it looks like it's pretty close, add it below in the comments. I'd be curious
you know,
to see.
definitely not.
But that, yeah, it's cool for kids for sure.
Yeah, definitely has some potential.
How much is it? $12?
Yeah, 12 bucks a deck, and you can buy
Not bad.
monthly
Look at that
plans.
blue. That's a nice color blue.
Yeah,
The light blue, the teal. It's pretty
dude,
nice.
a lot of thought clearly went into this. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. You get 3 months worth of decks. They all come looking different. It's kind of a nice little surprise, and you get to learn something. So
Yeah, I think it's great for kids for
yeah,
sure.
and it looks like the longer you pick up the subscription, the cheaper it is. So 10 bucks a deck for 12 months, 11 bucks a deck for 6 months. So cool. I like that concept. That's neat. And then what else we got here? So we're not even going to jump into this one, but I will mention these Maya typographic playing cards. This is just a blatant ripoff of Luke Wadey's Grid series there. Not even worth the time to promote this deck in any way, shape, or form. Also, you can see just from the funding goal, it's kind of petering out, which is fine. So it's a bummer people feel the need to rip off other people's hard work. So, but I guess at the same time, maybe there's a little flattery there that they enjoy the deck so much that they want to mimic it or replicate it, basically. Yeah.
That's about
Dude,
it.
all things, I have to say, some good decks came out this week. There was really a lot of new decks, 10 new campaigns I think we just ran through, maybe 11 there. And some of these are real, like, heavy hitters. Like, Yeah,
Yeah.
that Vengeance of Witches, the Apocalisse deck, the Eternal Rain. That Eternal Rain came out of left field too from Riffle Shuffle, and I think they just crushed it with that thing. But I don't know.
Dude, they come out with so many campaigns and they always get backed. So I mean, it's just smart for them to just keep pumping them out.
Well, yeah, because I mean, and that's the thing though. They're not a designer. They're similar to 311 in that capacity. You know, they're producing decks for designers. I think one of the things I really love about
Yep.
Riffle Shuffle is they do get unknown names into the industry, which is cool. Because they're using graphic designers who aren't necessarily designing cards. Like I know when we talked to Nathan Oser, like he had never thought about designing cards really until
Yeah.
like a year before, and then he kind of came across Riffle Shuffle, and it just worked out that way. So, um, yeah, I think it's great. Which ones would you back?
I I backed Eternal Rain. So I definitely back them. Um, I mean, for me, that's all I would back. I think, I mean, obviously, Apocalypse is a great deck, but it's not my style, and either is the Vengeance of Witches.
Yeah,
I think he's an amazing artist, like obviously, just not my style. Like I don't really jump to that style, and I dig Elevation. I would definitely back that deck. And then just Warrior, I think is super cool if that's your style as well. I'm not a huge fan of the Madison style decks, um, but I think it's cool for a sleek, classy design.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so I think for me, Elevation and Eternal Rain, and yeah, I back the Eternal Rain because I really dig that back design, and I want to check out those tuck boxes when they come in and see what they're like. I'm not a huge Skull fan, as everybody pretty much knows, but
Yeah. Now, I think from my point of view, honestly, the only deck I'd say I wouldn't back this week is probably the Evil Cats and the Invisible deck, just because I don't care about plastic clear cards, and the Evil Cats, as much as I like cats, just isn't really my style. The rest of these decks, I think, hit it out of the park. Honestly, I'm a little bummed on the shipping for Warrior playing cards. Otherwise, I would definitely have backed that one, but $25 for a deck is just not something I'm willing to drop on a relatively standard deck.
yeah, no, for sure.
But I definitely think even these natives playing cards are actually I'm gonna add those to my list for a little reminder when it gets closer to the end of the campaign, because I would definitely back those. I thought they had a lot of inspiration to them, looked good.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. I think it was a good week. I think there's a lot of talented decks out there.
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
definitely a recoup from last
Yeah,
week's.
geez, yeah. It's funny how from week to week it could be either great or trash. So I'm glad to see this was a really good week. Yeah, listen, I good luck to everyone who's funding. I mean, I think the majority of these have already funded to some significant level beyond their goal, so you guys are crushing it.
Yeah,
Keep running with the campaigns. Uh yeah, no, I think all these decks were spectacular. So nice. It was a good week there. I'm happy to see that.
yeah.
Cool.
Peace out,
All right,
everybody.
everybody, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and tune in next week where we will be taking a look at more Kickstarter decks. So thank you very much. Have a nice week.